Hello, welcome back to Truth Seekers Tea. My name is Kate, and I just want to say I'm so thankful to have you here for today's pick a card reading. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to be looking at essentially what truth is meant to be revealed to you, what truth is meant to be realized and integrated in regards to a certain important connection in your life, especially one that may have been confusing or one that you're looking for more clarity on what you're meant to get out of it, what you're meant to learn through it, especially. So we're going to start off with an energy check-in and see how you're feeling about this person. What's your perception of the connection, and anything that can come through to help confirm for you that it is your pile. And then we'll be pulling oracle cards to see what truth you're meant to realize about this connection, about this person, or in regards to this person. Like, what is this teaching you? So that's going to be what we do for the YouTube portion. For the extended, we're going to flip the reading and look at your person. We're going to be looking at how they're thinking and feeling about you and the situation with you. And then we're going to be looking at what truth they are going to be realizing about you in regards to you, or in regards to the relationship with you. So we're going to be looking at what they're meant to be learning, what they're meant to be realizing. So this is really meant to be a surface level reading where we look at thoughts and feelings, but then we also look deeper to see what truth, what is this showing you? What are you needing? What are you meant to put together through experiencing this connection? So for pile number 1, we have the Pastel Journey Tarot with this amethyst point. For pile number 2, we have the Witch's Garden Tarot with this blue calcite palm stone. And for pile number 3, we have the Prism Tarot with this green jasper star. So go ahead and tune into whatever pile you're feeling most drawn to. You could absolutely be drawn to more than one pile, and it could just be that there's more than one connection in this reading for you. So as always, listen to the energy check-in. Don't force anything to fit. And hopefully it will help you feel more confident that these messages are for you. So I will have the timestamps for each pile linked down below in the description box, along with the extended reading link if you guys are feeling like you want to hear more about this person. And I'll have all of the decks listed below, along with any information about me in case you guys are curious. So I'm going to leave that here. I will see you at your pile. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Pastel Journey Tarot with this amethyst point, this is going to be your reading where we're looking at what truth you're meant to realize about the person and the connection that you have on your mind. So before we get into it, we will be doing an energy check-in just to see what your current perception is of this relationship, how you're feeling and thinking about it, and any other context to just verify that this is your pile. So Spirit, please tune me into pile number 1. What is pile number 1's current stance with this person? What are their current thoughts and feelings? How will they know that this is their pile? Please give them a sign that this is their situation or person. There will be an extended reading as usual. We're going to be looking at what your person is currently realizing about you that they didn't know before. So like, what progress are they making in the way they view you and the connection with you? So what's being cleared up for them currently? All right, so pile number 1, Spirit. What are their current thoughts and feelings for the connection? We have Temperance. We have the Two of Swords. We have the King of Pentacles. Strength. To clarify, Temperance, Page of Cups. I'm going to move it up a bit. We clarified the Two of Swords, the Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay. Back of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so the energy I'm getting here, I definitely think that this is a connection that you do find yourself thinking about a lot. Like, even if you're going about your day, like, you might not think about them then, but like, I feel like this is like a person you have reoccurring thoughts about. And I feel like the reason for that is I think you feel a bit confused about this person, or it's almost like you don't have closure, or you don't really know the truth of this person's intentions towards you, their feelings. There's confusion here for sure. And I think with Temperance coming out first, you are leveling up, and I feel like this connection is teaching you how to look at things with more complexity. It could have been that in the beginning of this connection with the Page of Cups in reverse, you may have had a black and white version of this person in your mind. Like, you might have seen like the best in them and maybe not noticed the nuance, or you may have not realized certain red flags about them. And it could have came from this like more naive place with the Page of Cups in reverse, or like what you wished was true about them could have been what you believed for a while. But I feel like based on the current status of the connection, it's like you've kind of been forced to look at your original perception of them and find the nuance in it, and to balance two conflicting ideas. One of them maybe being how you view this person. With the King of Pentacles, it could be that you looked up to this person, that you may have even put them on somewhat of a pedestal, but maybe some of their actions have genuinely confused you. And it's almost like you don't know how to look at this person. But with Temperance, you're learning to be less afraid or less disturbed by the confusion. I feel like you're learning a certain level of acceptance for not knowing or not having a straight up answer about them. And I feel like this is on purpose, because I think you're learning a lesson about understanding that this and that can be true, that there could be two opposite traits in a person, and we're kind of left to grapple with the confusion of that. And we live in this dual world where each person, every single person, has light and shadow to them. And a lot of times it's hard for us to know what's real and what isn't. But sometimes it's that both truths are real. And it's like, then how do you sit with that confusion? And it's kind of like cognitive dissonance, where there's two conflicting feelings about a person or two conflicting experiences. It could be that you've had conflicting experiences with this person where sometimes they appear one way and then they do something or say something that conflicts with that image that you had of them. And it could be that with the Ten of Swords in reverse, there may have been an ending in the connection, or it could be that things have reached a point where there's not much you can do in the physical with them. Or maybe there was some kind of a betrayal that you sense from this person, or like a difficult ending with them that you're still trying to figure out, or you're still trying to find closure, and you're trying to find a conclusion. It's like when certain things happen in life, it's like we have to integrate our experiences and update our worldview. And I think this is a connection that is having a significant impact on your worldview. And it's almost like you can't fully put this to rest until you understand it, or you get it, you know? And I think what's keeping you holding on to this person is this sense of confusion and almost facing like a fear. I feel like there could be certain things with Strength being here that it may be difficult for you to sit with the hard truths about this person, or to see the difficult truth. There could be a lot of fear with that. But I feel like with the Eight of Pentacles at the back of the deck, yeah, it's like you're doing work. I feel like you're focused on yourself right now. This just could be another confirmation, but I feel like what you're really focused on is how to integrate an emotional experience into understanding like what action you're meant to take. I feel like you're confused about what to do with this person, and so you might just be at a standstill right now. And I feel like that's because you're learning a lesson. We'll get into what you're meant to learn, but the way you'll know this is your situation is you're bouncing in between two ideas of this person and what happened. And based on that, how do you move forward? Like, that's kind of the question. And it's kind of forcing you to face spaces that you might be uncomfortable with. And this could even be related to how you saw a parent. Maybe there's like fear in your inner child when it comes to grappling with a person being nuanced and sometimes being in their light and sometimes being in their shadow. And I think you're learning how to move forward with that truth and to not feel like you either have to see this person as all bad and then deny the truth of maybe the good parts of this person. It's like either way, you're not able to be extreme here. So it's like maybe you're prone to black and white thinking, where a way you were able to move on from people in the past was like clearly realizing that they were like bad or like no good, or like seeing them as completely bad is something that helped you like move on. Or it could be that you wanted to see people as all good and like continue to chase the relationship and ignore the bad. But it's like neither one of those perceptions are going to be your resolution here. And I think that's what you're looking for, is that clear answer of like, was this person's intentions good? Is this person meant to be in my life? Like, were they good for me? Were they bad for me? Like, what was this? And so I just think there's a lot of confusion and room for expanding your mindset about people and experiences. So that's where I'm going to leave it at with the energy check-in. I am going to cut right now and pull some oracle cards for what you're meant to realize. What truth are you meant to see here? What are you learning through this? And I will be right back. Okay, pile number one. So I have pulled your oracle cards, and the question I was asking Spirit is, what truth is meant to come to pile number one? What are they meant to realize in regards to the experience of this connection and this person? So what is the purpose of this, and what are you meant to realize? So let's see what came through. We have willing release. We have field of dreams. We have fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. We have mending. We have Taurus, trust, patience, sensuality. We have Jupiter in Leo with publicity. And we have discovery, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. We have patience. You're being asked to practice patience right now. It's not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there's a reason why things aren't aligning in the way you want them to in this moment. Have patience. It will eventually work out. We also have faith. It's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. Yet you still must do exactly that, because when you have faith, your life will begin to flow in magical ways you never imagined were possible. Okay, so some of the themes that I was already talking about in the energy check-in are definitely coming through here. And there was a lot of validity that I felt comes through these cards. So essentially what you're being guided to realize and learn through the situation is a shift and an expansion in your view in life, like the way that you mentally, the way you view things. So Sagittarius and Mercury is about an expansion in your worldview. And that is coming through realizing that your way through this experience and coming to more understanding isn't through like a masculine energy right now. It isn't that you need to think harder, that you need to do more, that you need to take action towards this person to get more information. Actually, what Spirit's guiding you to realize is this is a time right now where you're meant to cultivate this Taurus energy, which is all about trust, patience, and sensuality. And it's essentially realizing it's about surrendering to the process of becoming. That's what this card talks about. And it talks about how Taurian energy is so embodied. It's about what you're being pushed to realize. And this is why the Eight of Pentacles came out in your energy check-in, is sometimes when we don't know exactly the answer, or we don't know, things aren't clear, the best thing we can do is get present and focus on what we can control and what we can do, and trust that the answers will come through in time. And it's about having patience and realizing that sometimes we're not meant to understand something logically, because the only way we're going to understand it is through more experience unfolding. And so right now it feels like you're in this place where you feel maybe stuck, or you feel like you don't know what direction to go in, because maybe something that you really wanted, and it could have been a relationship working out with this person, or something to do with the path with this person. I feel like you might have put a lot of your eggs in that basket. And I feel like because you wanted that outcome so much, when it doesn't happen, it's like we don't understand, or we feel like we're doing something wrong, or the universe isn't responding to us, or we can even feel lost and out of touch in a way. And so Spirit wants you to see that that isn't the case right now, that actually everything is as it's supposed to be, which is always kind of frustrating to hear. But when we don't know for sure, that's a time to cultivate faith, right? And Spirit's asking you if you can have the strength to overcome the fear of the unknown and the fear of not knowing and the confusion, and still understand that it doesn't mean that something went wrong, or that there's a mistake, or that something needs to change or happen, or that something isn't finished. So I'm getting this sense, because we have willing release, and I almost want to read you some of these cards because they're so spot on with what I was picking up on. And it's like the willing release card talks about how when we don't have the answer to something, or something hasn't worked out in the way that we expected it to, sometimes we can cling on to the pain of that situation in a way that makes it more confusing, or it distracts us from the overall purpose of our lives. And this experience is meant to show you that this situation is not able, this relationship, your experience of it, is not able to keep you stuck or hold you back from manifesting your desires. And there could be a part of you that's like, this is what I wanted though, but Spirit's calling you to look more closely and to open up your mind to a different perspective. And that's going to happen through becoming more present and grounded, and beginning to listen to what your intuition and your body is telling you, rather than maybe what your mind is telling you. And it's like the mind is limited to what makes sense to us and what we expected. And our mind makes up stories when things don't make sense. And I feel like with this mending card, this card talks about finding forgiveness and recognizing that experiences of pain are not meant to show us that we're on the wrong path. It's that they actually are very potent messages, that this experience is a potent catalyst for you in getting closer to yourself. And also, as you get out of this experience, you're going to come out with a renewed process, the way that you go about your life. And I feel like you're going to become more process oriented rather than results oriented. And it's like you're learning to take things step by step and trust that the answers will come to you when they're meant to. And sometimes we aren't able to understand or wrap our minds around something. And so we have to release our attachment to thinking that knowing is what's going to bring us what we need. And recognizing that sometimes things are more nuanced and complex and interconnected. Like the universe is that way, where this one experience is actually like a balm for something that you needed to learn. And so I do want to read you the willing release. It says yielding to a divine plan, releasing attachment to form, especially when something isn't what you expected or wanted, leaving room for serendipity. It says some days you have to let go of your struggle to find the answer and focus on other things for a while. This doesn't mean giving up altogether or losing anything. And I think there's this fear that if you stop focusing on figuring this situation out or this person out, that it's a loss. And I feel like what Spirit's saying is that have trust that this will come around again, and allowing your brain to take a rest from it and focusing on other things isn't you letting it go, or it isn't meant to undermine your feelings about it. And it's about recognizing that sometimes when we aren't able to figure it out, it doesn't mean we're never going to understand or that it was all for nothing. It's that sometimes it requires more of this Taurian approach where we surrender to the process of becoming. And so it says, remember that in our co-creative partnership with the divine, give and take is necessary. You do your part by giving intentions and taking any necessary actions, but then you must surrender to the form, the timing, and the how to the higher power. And so I feel like right now, you may have done all you can. Like, I feel like your brain trying to figure things out, or maybe action right now within this relationship isn't going to bring you what you desire anymore. And Spirit's telling you that you are in alignment with creating what you desire. But if you feel like this relationship not working out, or the pain that was caused from it as a sign that you're not going to get what you desire, that isn't the case. And so Spirit's asking you to trust and have patience in the process of understanding why this had to happen the way it did, and how you're being reoriented right now to better realize your desires. There is a divine plan for each of us. When you're acting on this faith, you may find that your intense desire for something translate to feeling an attachment and entitlement. Right now, can you immerse yourself in this experience and allow the divine plan to unfold to unfold as it will on your behalf without interference? Can you be open to receiving what's yours, even if it's not packaged in the form you thought you wanted? Perhaps if you look deeper, you will see that you received the perfect vibrational match to your most authentic wants and needs. You have put in the work to find your desires and felt them deeply and engaged in your higher power. Now you must let go and see what transpires. This isn't easy. Impatience erodes the foundation of your trust in the divine. Surrendering truly will serve your highest good. Know this truth in your heart. Can that really be so difficult? I'm going to get a sip of water. And so I feel like what you're meant to realize is that the experience with this person isn't something that's holding you back from continuing on your journey and continuing to speak your truth and put your vision out into the world. And I feel like there's this sense that the heartbreak of this is something that is in your way. And what Spirit wants you to realize is that it's actually the exact conditions meant for you to realize your dreams with Field of Dreams. And this card, Field of Dreams, talks about, can you focus on your intentions and your inspiration for what you want to create despite temporary setbacks, even though things look like they're chaotic or they are confusing and the path forward doesn't seem clear. It's about trusting that things will become clear and you're just where you need to be. And sometimes it's like a paradox. There's a paradoxical condition to your current place. It's like, in order to make more progress, it's about doing less and sitting with the discomfort of not knowing, sitting with this discomfort of it being anti-intuitive, that the pain of the situation not working out doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path or doesn't mean that everything's lost. It's about recognizing that even though things can temporarily seem like they aren't unfolding for you, they still are. And that requires, and I want to read you the Taurus card as well. I know that some of you don't like when I read from the book, but I just feel like sometimes the book can just give you the details you need a little bit better. So it says, Like Mother Nature herself, Taurus is grounded in the process of becoming. It understands that a goal and the pathway toward it are one and the same. So it's process orientation, moving through time with patient stability. And so I feel like you're meant to cultivate your own stability and sense of groundedness and sense of self through an experience where the outer circumstances aren't providing that for you. And then you strengthen your ability to stay on the path, to realize that you have so much more control and impact on how you move forward in this situation, but it depends on you learning to ground yourself and to not fall into despair or thinking that everything is lost. So it says it's tempered like a flower. And I love that it says it's tempered because it's that temperance energy of learning to have patience and learning that our inner child wants what it wants right now. And it's like you're maturing through this. And with Leo in Jupiter, you're learning. Leo is really in touch with the inner child, and it can kind of want things to be like now, now, now. It's about me, me, me. Like it's not, it can be unaware of how we don't have to influence everything, you know? And a sign of things not working out doesn't mean that you're not on your way, essentially. And so it says, like a flower, it can't be rushed, growing from a seed sprout to bud to blossom. And it's like you are a bud right now, and it can't be rushed. No amount of knowledge that you could even hear right now would make this process go faster, because it's actually, you're being fertilized exactly the way you need to. So it says, Taurus is one with the earth and loves experiencing life through the senses. And so it also says here, perhaps you've been feeling out of alignment or fearful. Be patient and trust in your process of becoming. Sink deeply into each moment, even if you find yourself in trying times. Find your way in each step forward, always asking yourself what aligns and what doesn't. Your body is an instrument to connect to wisdom of this moment, so honor your inner knowing through every experience. Give your growth the gift of time. There's no rush. The blossom rose lives within the bud. And so it's that realization that within the seed exists the whole tree. And our inner child can be impatient, and what Spirit really wants you to understand is that you don't necessarily have to understand in order to be making progress, in order to be on the right path. And that is something our brain does not feel comfortable with. So I hope that that makes sense. And I feel like in regards to this relationship, I feel like there's a part of you that feels like you could finally be comfortable or move forward if you knew the truth of this person. But I feel like the truth of this person is actually less relevant to your inner truth than you realize. And there might be this feeling that that you don't trust yourself and how you feel about a situation unless you have the facts laid out for you. So it's like you might want evidence that your intuition is right. But Spirit's wanting you to realize that you can trust yourself and that you don't need the validation of certain information or facts and seeing things firsthand to trust yourself and move forward with your process. And so this is a time where you're meant to be grounded and you're meant to be putting one foot in front of the other, despite not exactly knowing where you're going or how things are going to end up, and realizing that you don't need to know the result in order to be making progress, in order to be on the right path. And so it's like this whole relationship is meant to undo fixed thinking that you might have had, or blockages to making progress on your divine plan. And I feel like for some of you, you might have some sort of creativity, or this might be essential in your process of learning to trust your voice without having other people to validate it. And so this is about learning more self-trust. As you learn to trust within Spirit, you learn to trust within yourself. And whatever you think the situation is, you probably know more than you realize. But it's like if you're looking for information or you think you need a certain fact in order to understand, then you're going to stay confused. But I feel like you act through letting go and being brave enough with the Strength card to sit in your fears of this. I feel like answers are going to naturally unfold, but it's like through the moon energy. It's not through the sun energy. It's like about that masculine form of learning or knowing versus the feminine. And the feminine actually learns through becoming one with the darkness, not being able to see. And so I feel like there's a lot of moon energy here, confusion, things being dark. But because of that, because you're not being gifted with the sun's energy of clarity, you're actually learning how to become one with that moon energy. You're learning what treasures of knowledge can be unfolded when we're able to sit with not knowing, when we're able to sit with our fears, and information and new perspectives begin to unfold once we realize that we don't need the sun to show us. And so you actually have a lot more intuitive ability to you than I think you're willing to trust right now. So let's get some tarot to just confirm. What is pile number one? What truth are they meant to realize about this situation, this relationship, this person? What truth are they meant to integrate into their life? We have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. King of Swords, also in the reverse. These are not all reversed. We have the World. Yeah, this is like a huge lesson for you. We have Six of Swords in reverse and Queen of Pentacles in the reverse as well. And Three of Cups back of the deck. Okay, so what's coming through for me here is that you're learning a lesson about how to get to your goals. And it's like something about this blueprint for your experience of what you wanted to work out in the end with this person is actually mirroring a lesson about how you can manifest your desires in general. And so Spirit's almost saying that this is meant to teach you how to find completion and to understand that the journey is not a linear path, and sometimes paradox is in the process. And so what Spirit's wanting you to see is that until you allow yourself to move forward from what's not currently working and to allow some healing to occur and allow some distance from this relationship, it's like you're blocked from seeing things from a new perspective. And so Spirit's wanting you to see you're going to get closer to your goal through accepting what's not working and allowing there to be transition. And the more you hold your baggage with you of the pain of this situation, the less clearly you're able to see. And it's almost like this person seems to be having this impact on you where until you maybe you feel like you need validation from this person, or like you need to hear this person's truth before you're able to begin facilitating this Queen of Pentacles. And it could have been that there was like this dependence on this person in order for you to feel that you could start becoming grounded in your reality. And I like that the Queen of Pentacles is here because we have Taurus energy. So this is really about you learning your value, learning how to cultivate your value on earth, how to make more money is what I'm getting, how to make more stability for yourself without needing the input of another person, and to just trust that you have this intuitive nature to you, that if you just continue to move away from what's painful and what isn't working, you're gonna naturally align yourself with Taurian outcome, with that you don't need to know in order to make decisions, that you can just feel into your body and feel what makes you secure, what situations make you feel secure and what don't. And even if you don't understand why that is, you can still move in that direction. And so this experience is actually meant to turn around your manifestation potential and your achievement. And I feel like there's something here where you're meant to have a lot of success in this life, and maybe through some sort of creativity. And you may, and I feel like your voice is going to be important for a lot of people. And it's just about recognizing that sometimes we have to allow a transition, a painful transition to happen, which is the Six of Swords, in order to start seeing different ideas. And it's almost like until we just allow ourselves to move through a difficult experience, even if it's hard, that is a process of maturing. And it's like as you naturally start to ground yourself in this new reality, despite confusion about the past, that's how you're going to mature. And it's like you're not able to see what you want to learn with the baggage of it. And so it's almost like you're meant to just heal and move forward and do your best to make good decisions for yourself, to make decisions that feel good for you for now. And then you'll learn, you'll figure out the lesson of it. And so it's like you're meant to learn this lesson here. but it's like you need to stop trying to figure it out for some time and just focus on what you need to do in the here and now to feel more comfortable, to make good decisions for yourself, and to put yourself in a position of safety and respect and what you need right now for the time being. And I feel like with the Three of Cups here, I feel like you're being invited to do your best to have good times with the people that are around you. And the more good times you have, the more grounded you start becoming, the more you're going to see the truth of this, is the best way I could put it. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Actually, I'm going to get a couple of these oracles. I think that this is going to clear it up as well. But yeah, I'll be taking it to the extended, where we're going to be seeing what your person is realizing about you, what truth they're meant to realize about you, how they're viewing you right now, and how their view of you is going to be shifting through like the energy that's transpired here. Just in the same way that you're transforming through this, your person is also transforming. And so I want to let you guys know what your person's journey is as well, and like what lessons they're learning through this. Okay. Can we just get some closing messages for pile number 1 in regards to this situation? It says, I forgive myself for taking myself more seriously than is helpful to me. I choose to believe that when I allow myself to lighten up, and that's that Three of Cups, my entire being becomes illuminated with the intuitive wisdom that aligns me with my highest potential. Yeah, and so it's almost like the more focus you have on the seriousness of this, the more you are able to lighten up and just enjoy the times you have now, the quicker you're going to actually know what you need to do. Yes, it says, I forgive myself for thinking I need to know exactly where I am going before taking a step forward. I choose to believe that the path before me will be illuminated the moment I garner the trust to trust myself to make the first move. This is like very much what I'm picking up on. I hope you guys see that it's like there's a need to realize you can take steps forward without exactly knowing how everything's going to go. And let's get one more. It says, I forgive myself for distrusting others to be able to take care of themselves. I choose to believe that when I delegate tasks and make space for growth, I empower others to experience parts of themselves not previously known to them. And it could be that you still feel ties to the situation that you've kind of been forced to move on from. But I feel like for right now, you're meant to just focus on yourself and what you need to do, and recognize that the focus on other people is not going to be beneficial for you. And it's time to just focus on taking care of yourself right now. Instead of, sometimes it's easier to focus on others or focus on other people's situation and wanting to get to the bottom of, you know, maybe some of their shadows. But right now it's time to look at yourself and take a pause from the focus on the other person here or other people in the situation. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. I hope that this has been helpful. I'm going to take it into the extended now. So if you guys want to see more from your person's perspective, that is what we're going to be looking at. I might also go into like, how are they feeling about what's going on? I'm going to start with how are they feeling about what's going on with you, and what are they learning? What are they realizing about you right now? So that's what it's going to focus on. This is what I have for the YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. If you're able to hit the like button if you found value, that helps out the channel, and I appreciate any comments for feedback. It really does help me. And if you want to see more pick a card readings from this channel, I would love for you guys to join the community through subscribing. So other than that, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to connect with you soon. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the, what is this called? The Witch's Garden Tarot with the blue calcite palm stone. This is going to be a reading where we're looking at a certain significant connection in your life that is likely still in your energetic field or still in your mind. We're going to be starting off with an energetic connection an energetic check-in to see how you are currently feeling, thinking, and processing the relationship. So that should be a good confirmation as to whether or not this is your pile. And then we're going to go into oracle cards, where we're going to be looking at what truth you are meant to realize as a result or in juxtaposition to this connection, like what is the purpose of what you're going through, and what are you meant to learn about this person, or what lesson in general is this situation teaching you? So we're really trying to dig deep and see the spiritual purpose and anything else that you're not maybe seeing clearly about the person, situation, connection. And it's really meant to clarify any confusion that you have or any sense of being stuck or like fixated, you know? So let's get started. There will be an extended reading. I changed it a few times in pile number 1, what I wanted to do. So I'm going to have to go back and edit that. But we're going to be starting off in the extended, looking at how your person is feeling and thinking about you and the connection in regards to its current state. We're also going to be looking at what lesson they are learning, what truth they are realizing about you and the connection, what wisdom that's giving them, what are they meant to learn, just to give you a wider view of this connection and its purpose. And we'll kind of see where that takes us. And also we'll see what they're realizing about you and their connection to you currently. Okay, so let's just get started with the energy check-in now that I've gotten that out of the way. For pile number 2, Spirit, please tune me into pile number 2's energy. Let's tune into the most prominent connection that needs the most clarification right now in their life. Please let me know what the connection is like so pile number 2 can see a sign that this is their situation. Please make it clear to them and clear up any confusion or doubt that this is their pile. All right, how's pile number 2 currently thinking and feeling about this person, connection? We have the 10 of Cups. We have the 6 of Swords in reverse. We have the Queen of Wands also flipping over in reverse. We have the Ace of Wands, reverse. We have the Hierophant. And the 8 of Wands. This actually did want to come out earlier, but it didn't fully make it. So, okay, I feel like this is a connection with the Wheel of Fortune. I've been getting like the theme of change, and with the 6 of Swords. So I feel like this is a situation that there may have just been an extreme change in circumstances, maybe something that was out of your control, where you feel like the connection with this person suddenly moved really quickly in a direction. It's upright, so it feels like it might be something that's positive for you. I'm not sure if you feel like it's positive for the connection though. So I feel like with the 6 of Swords in reverse, you may be having a hard time transitioning from this connection. This may have been a connection that you thought was going to be in your life forever. Like this could be someone that you had a really strong commitment with, or you thought that things were going to lead maybe to marriage, or maybe you did marry this person, but it's like someone that you saw a future with. And I feel like you're at a point right now where you may be, with the Queen of Wands in reverse, feeling a little bit insecure about like what's shifting, what's changing, or maybe the pace at which things are changing is kind of scaring you, or you may wish things would slow down. So I kind of just want to clarify a little bit though. So why is the Queen of Wands in reverse? High Priestess. Yeah, I feel like with the High Priestess in reverse, this may have been like unforeseen change, or you may just be feeling like you're out of touch with your intuition and the fear of the unknown is kind of scaring you. Like I feel like you maybe didn't know this was going to happen. And so it might just feel like you're like off track or something, or it's like maybe you didn't predict this and it's just making you feel like a little bit fearful, you know, like this sense of not having control. It's like there, with the Wheel of Fortune, there's something that's just out of your control, and things are changing in your life, and you may consider yourself an intuitive person, but you might just feel like you can't intuitively tap into this, and that might be a point of frustration for you. Why is the 10 of Cups here? 6 of Wands. Yeah. it may be that you're experiencing like, I feel like your confidence right now is, there's a sense of defeat or a sense of your confidence being lowered. It's like maybe you thought you were on your path to your 10 of Cups, or you like were expecting something to unfold that way, but you might, maybe something fizzled out, or there's been like a missed opportunity, or things didn't progress in the way you're expecting. And so now you might be feeling kind of low or down on yourself. It's kind of like the opposite of feeling like you're on the right track or on top of life. Why is Ace of Wands in reverse? Knight of Cups. Yeah. And it feels like this is someone that you had feelings for, someone that had feelings for you. And it just feels like it's like gone too soon, or it's like falling between your fingers, but it doesn't feel like, Spirit's telling me that it isn't something that isn't good for you. I just think you're having a hard time seeing why this is happening, and it's almost like you won't know until a later date. So there could just be confusion or a reluctancy to want to shift out of this. This could have been something that was really in your comfort zone, and you may just feel like it gave you a lot of confidence being in this connection. Why is Six of Swords in reverse? Four of Swords. Yeah, it's like you're having a hard time grounding yourself, and it may be feeling like a little bit overwhelming right now. Can we clarify the Eight of Wands? Yeah, Page of Swords. And I feel like so much new information is coming in for you. And I feel like you may even be having to go back to a beginner's mindset. And a part of you may have felt like you already figured it out, or you're just confused why things felt like you're on the right track, and now you feel like you've lost progress. Can we get the Hierophant clarified as well? I just want to make sure I'm channeling this correctly. Yeah, Five of Swords. It's like a sense of defeat. Like, yeah, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It just feels like some future outcome that you saw as like a certain thing that was developing in your life. It feels like fate has intervened. And right now it isn't clear the new reality that's unfolding. And there's just a sense of loss of like, why did this happen? Or like, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah, so hopefully that resonates. Yeah, so if that resonates for you, this is definitely your pile. We're going to be looking at what truth you're meant to realize about this connection, this situation, what you're learning, to hopefully give you more clarity and like confidence in this, and to maybe put some of your worries at ease. So I'm going to pull some Oracle now, and I'll be right back. It'll be no time for you. Okay, pile number 2, I have pulled your Oracle card. So I'm just going to go through what came out. So the first card I pulled was Neptune, Dream and Transcend. So we have Pisces energy coming through. We have Mercury in Capricorn and Venus in Aries, organization, and we have Lust. I'm realizing I need to cover like any body parts that are out because of YouTube. So anyways, we have Chaos and Conflict, Heal the Ouch, Goddess of the Moon, Sad Embrace, and Bearing Fruit. So the message that's coming through for you guys, pile number 2, is that these changes and like conflicts, like I feel like there's a sense of conflict, or like a part of who you thought you were and what dreams and what your future looked like is basically subject to a refinement right now. And I think it feels scary because sometimes our ego can be comfortable within a set out plan that may have been based on a part of us that isn't really in alignment with our truest soul, our soul self. And so more of your soul is pushing through, and even though it's uncomfortable, the conflict that's happening right now, because like with organization here, I feel like you guys, it may be that I'm getting like, it could be either way for this group. I'm getting more of this message though, is that it could be that some of you are meant to be more dreamy with Neptune, Dream and Transcend. You're being asked to really dive into your intuition, like your moon energy, your divine feminine, that intuition. And through that, it feels like there's a path ahead of you that is more creative, or it's like you have like a dream in your heart for what you want, and the current path you're on isn't really reflecting that, or it isn't going to realize what you're soul truly wanted to create in this life. And it could be that like you're more comfortable in like a Capricorn energy. Capricorn like being more earthy and practical and kind of stubborn and diligent, and like Capricorn can be very focused on an outcome and like stop at nothing to do that. Like, and it's almost like a very grounded, logical sort of what you see, like you have to see it to believe it. And like you're being shifted into, you have to believe it to see it. And that mentality is going to catapult you into this bearing fruit energy, where it's like you're being asked to see that it's time to align with a more grand and more beautiful and abundant sort of path for yourself. But what first has to be shed is kind of painful. And so the truth of the situation is, I think the partnership or whatever relationship this is we're talking about, it feels like it's like at the foundation of this self that you're being pushed out of. And it feels like it might be your comfort zone, but it also feels like it might be something that's actually holding you back from going after what you're passionate about. And it may be that like there's a certain level of responsibility to it that's keeping you stuck or keeping you from following your passions and from like dreaming and from following your dreams and taking risks. And with the goddess of the moon here, this is what really confirmed for me that a lot of you are being pushed into really tuning into the power of your high priestess and your intuition and your connection with the mystical and the divine. This group has untapped spiritual gifts, and I think something that you're meant to create. I think you have an ability to heal others. And it's like, even though the process to realizing that may be like, it feels like in order for you to really step into this energy, it might put you at a cross purposes with this other person or with like people related to this relationship. It's that you might be right now living your life in a way that is not causing conflict, or it may be that you don't want to rock the boat, or you don't want to, you know, that maybe if you really followed this, like the person that's important to you right now, it would be a conflict with them. And like this chaos and conflict card asks you to face the chaos and conflict and see it as something that is meant to guide you and help you refine your values and goals and what's really important to you. And regardless of what's important to another, this is the time, this experience is happening so you're better set up to really stand true in what your soul really wants. And for whatever reason, it feels like your ego is keeping you safe, but it's also keeping you from following your passion. And it's like there's this beautiful road ahead of you. And what this sad embrace talks about is sometimes loss. It's hard to see through loss sometimes. I'm actually going to read you this one because I really like the message in it. And I know some of you guys don't like when I read, but this is my channel, so I will do what I want to do. It says, loss is a part of life. Let go and allow time to heal. You might be entering into a period where loss is a theme. Perhaps you're having to let go of a long cherished dream. Yeah, and that's what I was picking up in your energy check-in. It's like this long cherished dream. It's like what you thought your life was going to look like. It's that you were really set on this. It says, if so, take heart, for this ending may have been for your highest good. A better, more powerful dream will be realized in your life if you can accept this loss. Relationships based on faulty foundations are meant to end at this time. Disappointment is a form of perception. If your expectations weren't met, a sense of loss arises. And so it's like you could have been attached to a certain outcome, and it's like you're grieving the loss of that. Express these emotions. Tears are healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. And yeah, you're meant to focus within too. It says, growth is always assured. Whatever the loss, however great it is, let go and experience your feelings so you may soon see what beauty lies ahead. And there was also this, there's a huge theme here that all of this is occurring in this connection to bring you closer to your inner truth and to open up this door to a higher connection with spirit and yourself and going beyond the mundane. You're meant to go beyond the mundane. You weren't meant for a cookie cutter life, or maybe it's hard for you because you might be different from other people. It could be that what you're actually passionate about feels risky to you because maybe it's like, maybe a part of you wanted to be the kind of person who just wanted to be married or wanted to do this kind of job because it's just easier to know what you want. But I feel like that's limiting yourself in the situation, and it's time to shed that security blanket. And it's like you'll see through the painful situation that it is aligning you with the new scenario. And as you go through this, I believe you're growing with some of you. This Goddess of the Moon and Heal the Ouch both talk about potentially going into like a healing field. It also talks about mediumship and like becoming a healer. So that could be like on your path. And it may be that in order to embrace those opportunities on that path, there needs to be like a dissolve, like what path you're already on is needing to dissolve. So I'm going to go into some tarot now. Actually, before I do tarot, I want to get a few of these oracle cards. And Heal the Ouch also talks about kind of accepting like arguments or differences between people and like recognizing that sometimes conflict is difficult, but there's always healing on the other side of it. And it's better to face conflict for the fruit that it can bear. And sometimes conflict is what's needed in a situation, even though it's uncomfortable. Okay. Can we clarify these messages, please, Spirit, for what pile number 2, what truth they need to hear? It says, I forgive myself for giving to others even when I have nothing left to give. I choose to believe that I do not have anything to prove. I am worthy of receiving as I am innately valuable, independent of what I do or say. Yeah, and so there could be that you have a strong allegiance to like ensuring other people's happiness, or you might feel like you have to put other people before yourself. And it's like, this is like a self-betrayal is what Spirit's pointing out. It says, I forgive myself for wanting others to see through my eyes by sharing my perspective. I choose to believe that allowing my unique perspective to be contrasted by another allows for clarification of what I really desire, ensuring I effectively create my dream life. This is that conflict. It says, allowing my perspective. There's this energy here where it's almost like you're afraid to embrace your truth in a situation because maybe you feel like that invalidates other people's ways of life, or you may feel like in order to follow your dream that other people have to share that perspective, or you don't deserve it, or you can't have it. But it says allowing your perspective to be contrasted in this chaos and conflict is contrasted by another, allows you to clarify what you really want. So it's about not shying away from it. It's like, that's what's going to help you make sure that you're creating your dream life. And this is so much to do with making sure that you get out of this life what you really want. And like having no regrets at the end. And I'm seeing like the no regrets, like the guy from We're the Millers. Okay, let's get one more and then we'll go into tarot. One more message for pile number 2, please. Yes, so it says, I forgive myself for feeling as though the only path available to me is the one that has been paved by those before me, the conformist. And it says, I choose to believe that when I take the risk to pursue what feels possible in my heart, I expand the realm of possibility for the collective. And that's exactly what I was getting at, that there's like some traditional path or some norm that I feel like you think you have to fall in alignment with, but Spirit is creating this shift so you realize that you have this other path that's going to be more fulfilling for you. It's going to benefit the collective, and it's about having that audacity with this Aries in Venus to go after what you love without second guessing it. Yes. And it says, I forgive myself for undervaluing my love and underestimating my strength. And I feel like this group is powerful. Like, I think everyone is powerful, but I just feel like in this group, you might not be realizing just how important it is that you recognize what impact you could make in the world. And it's like, whatever's in your heart, whatever your ideal career path is, whatever your like what makes your heart happy, like how you want to serve, how you want to make an impact on the collective is things to think about. It says, I choose to believe that I'm only beginning to know the loving purpose I serve in the world. I am expanding into my powerful wholeness with each and every passing moment. Yeah, and it's like, it may be that at some point you didn't know that this is inside of you. You didn't know this loving purpose that you have, but it's like recognizing that every moment that passes, you're getting closer and closer to realizing the truth of your value and how important that is and how much it deserves to be actualized in this life. At whatever cost. At whatever cost to other people, and at whatever cost to what you think is what's keeping you safe. It's that sometimes like safety and security can be like a prison, you know? It's like sometimes we have to be less attached to that in order to create something new or to really follow our dreams and desires. Can we clarify these messages, Spirit, or draw attention to anything else that I may have missed? There's powerful potential in your dreams, powerful potential in your heart. And it's like blocked, it feels, by some obligation to be a certain way or to fulfill one life path that, yeah. Okay, let's clarify, please, Spirit. We have Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, we have Fool in reverse. I'm trying to see, wow, I think these are all meant to be for you. So we have 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. We have 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands in reverse, 8 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, yeah, 9 of Pentacles, wow, the Tower, and Knight of Wands. Oh my gosh, yes. And the Star at the back of the deck. This is beautiful. This is crazy that these were like all in the right order. So this is like really giving me a strong story for you guys. And I heard you have to lose something to gain something sometimes. And basically what's here is like the 5 of Wands is similar to this Chaos and Conflict card. By avoiding that, you're not able to go on this new journey and take this risk for a new beginning that is going to serve you. And it's like with the 10 of Pentacles, there's some pressure. It's like maybe this can talk about traditional values or some imagined future that you feel like is meant for you. But it's like, if you follow this, you lose this beautiful opportunity for something else. And by staying in a situation that isn't giving you everything that you can have, it's like it's blocking. It's like this. It's like when we settle for what we have because we're afraid, or 8 of Pentacles can talk about perfectionism or like procrastinating on a dream because it's like we're settling for what we have. Spirit's saying it's time to define your own values and become independent with this 9 of Pentacles. It's a transition from this Hierophant energy, and it could be this commitment that you're in right now. It's about letting the Tower fall. It's time to let this crumble, because the Knight of Wands is this energy it's that Mars energy, taking action with towards your passions. It's about going away from this like earthly energy that you're in, this settling, this comfort zone. And it's about causing conflict, taking risks, seizing new opportunities, reaching your potential, refining your skills, developing your own values, and letting what is not for you fall away so you can take action towards what is for you. And these cards are such a solid confirmation. Like, this spread could not say it any better. Yeah. And it's like, it's not worth avoiding conflict and avoiding change. 5 of Wands is also about change. 5s are change. It's not worth missing an opportunity. It's not worth not taking risks so we don't have to experience change. There could be a fear of change, or a fear that if you follow this like passion in your heart, that it's not going to lead you to anything substantial. But Spirit's saying it actually does lead to it. And we have this Star here. You guys are meant to be a star. And the Star also talks about hopes and dreams and wishes and like healing. And so there's this wish you have, and there's a shooting star. Like, it's like it's aligning with that energy of taking a chance on your dreams. Like, letting yourself follow your true north and trusting that you'll find the healing you need after this Tower. And it's like sometimes we can be so afraid of like what we know falling apart, even if there's a part of us that has a dream. It's like, trust that the star follows the Tower. You're gonna find your footing again, and you'll always be grateful for letting yourself do this. And you'll see that there was fears that were holding you in this place. It's like there's a shift here of moving into a love mindset rather than a fear-based mindset and scarcity. It's like in a scarcity and fear-based world, you're going to stay exactly where you are because you're too afraid to take that risk. But when you are in alignment with love, you aren't afraid that you won't get what's yours, that you trust that the dream in your heart is worth it. And it's like, it is a risk, it is a gamble, but when you're doing it to follow your heart, you have the backing of the universe. Really quickly, pile number 2, I just want to let you know that right when I stopped filming, a really like important song came through. And so I'm just going to insert this right before the outro. So the song that just came through, which is so beautiful, is the song Breakaway. Is it by Kelly Clarkson? I think so. But it's like the lyrics are, take a chance, make a change, and break away. And it's like, I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. And I also heard it, I know it's not easy to say goodbye, but it's like time to make a wish, make a chance, and break away. So that's the vibe, 100% for this pile. So I just wanted to like let you guys know. So yeah, anyways, I'll resume the reading now. And even if you don't take the risk, at some point this Tower is going to fall anyways. It's like Spirit doesn't let things that aren't meant to be in our life stay easily. And there may be an illusion of certainty in the situation. There may be an illusion of guaranteed success and happiness. Your happiness isn't in the current situation. And so letting it change and shift is actually going to bring you that Wheel of Fortune increase. It's like all these changes are happening for your expansion and benefit. And it's just grappling with the fears that come up when we go through change and we take a chance on ourselves and we believe in ourselves and we have the strength to be independent. So that's what I have for you guys. I am going to be looking at essentially how the other person in this situation that you may think of when you think about like maybe taking this risk. We're going to be looking at how they're feeling about you right now in the connection. We're going to be looking at what they're meant to learn. That might bring you some relief as well, to see that this is also in this person's highest good. What's divinely guided for them to learn right now. We'll get messages from your person and we'll see how they're going to be shifting in their understanding and feelings for you as well in the near future. So I'm going to go to that now. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you found value, I would love to see what you guys thought in the comments. If you're able to hit the like button, it takes like a couple of seconds, but it does really support my channel. And if you want to see more readings from here, I would love for you to subscribe so you're able to see future readings without having to randomly come across my channel again. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm wishing you guys the best, and I'll see some of you in the extended. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Prism Tarot and the green Jasper, this is going to be your reading where we're looking at what truth in regards to a significant connection in your life, a significant relationship, what truth are you meant to realize? And so this could be something that you're learning through the experience. It could be something about the relationship, about the person. I'm going to leave it open to Spirit for what is most helpful for you. So we are going to start off with an energy check-in just to make sure that this is your pile, and to look for signs that this resonates with your situation. We are going to be looking at it from your perspective. What's your current experience of this person, connection, situation? What are your thoughts and feelings about either the other person or the situation as a whole? So Spirit, please tune me into pile number 3. Please open me up to their perspective here and allow them to feel confident whether this is or this is not their pile. Okay. So how is pile number 3 currently feeling and thinking about this person, this relationship, the situation? How are they experiencing it? We have the 7 of Wands with defense. We have the 5 of Wands with competition. Just want to make sure it's in view. We are good. For some reason, it looks kind of blurry. I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't come out like that. Well, I don't know. Anyways, so we have a lot of fire energy coming out here. So I definitely feel like this, just for right off the bat, definitely is a situation where there's opposing opinions. You may feel like you're at odds with the person. You may be feeling like you have to defend your point of view, or you might even be feeling like misunderstood or even frustrated. What's pile number 3's experience? We have 4 of Wands in reverse, yeah. So this can talk about a lack of harmony within a certain foundation, or it could be that like people aren't getting along that are supposed to get along. It could be that 2 people are there's sort of a stubborn feeling coming through. So it could be that there's just opposing energies and it's causing like a lack of harmony within this relationship. This could be a love situation. I feel like for a lot of you, you come to the readings for that. So it could be that, but it also could be a relationship with a friend or a family member. What else? What's their experience here? How are they feeling? How are they thinking? We have 2 of Wands. A lot of fire energy. All fire suit, honestly. All Wands. We have the King of Cups in reverse. And the 10 of Wands. Wow. Justice at the back of the deck. Yeah, so this really feels like a situation where to put it simply, you're definitely not getting along with someone close to you. With Justice being here, it may feel like things are unfair, or it may be hard to find a balance between you and another person. It's like, I feel like there's a difficulty with each person seeing the other side of it. And with the 2 of Wands, it could be you feeling like you don't know if you can move forward. You may feel like blocked right now when it comes to like making a plan or making a decision. It may feel like this is kind of a hopeless situation. With the King of Cups in reverse, it could be that emotions are running high, and it might be that each person isn't on the same page as the other emotionally, or it could be that instead of people communicating their emotions, people might be angry and kind of wanting to compete rather than being vulnerable. It could be a situation where it's difficult to put your guard down and see the other person's point of view. It could even be that maybe one person feels wronged by the other here or something like that. But either way, this definitely is weighing on you very heavily. I feel like this is a burden for you with the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is where you feel like something is just becoming too heavy to carry. And so it just feels like the level of discord that this is causing in your life feels like it's difficult to overcome, or you might just be at the end of your rope with it. And yeah, but I definitely feel like there's some kind of a dispute with Justice being here, and it could be that each person thinks they're right, especially with the 5 of Wands. And there's just a sense of feeling threatened by this other person, or you might feel like they don't understand your point of view. It's like each person thinks that the other is wrong, is kind of what I'm picking up on. So hopefully that makes sense. I want to clarify the King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, we have the 7 of Clouds here, scarcity mentality. Why is the King of Cups reverse? 4 of Swords upright. Yeah, and it may be that like each party is needing to, I don't know, like, work through something, or it may be that like each person is feeling like they're being pushed, or it may be that like each person is feeling like they're being pushed. And so it just feels like the level of discord that this is causing in your life feels take a break from this and clarify their thoughts, because the Four of Swords is all about taking some time out and making sure you're mentally in a clear spot so you can communicate with emotional intelligence. It could be that because of the overwhelming nature of this, that each of you might be communicating from this emotionally exhausted place where, you know, it might be that it's really hard to get your mind around this, or it's like this is like draining you. Like you might just be thinking a lot about it, and it might just be like overly, people may be letting their emotions get the best of them, and it might be translating to a lot of fighting, disagreements, arguments, things like that is what I feel is coming through here. So if that sounds like a situation that you are dealing with right now, then this is probably your pile. I've already pulled your Oracle cards, so I'm just going to go straight into them. And I pulled these asking Spirit, what does pile 3, what truth does pile number 3 need to hear right now? Like, what do they need to integrate? Like, what are they meant to understand about this situation, or what's possibly blocking you from moving forward in the situation? Or yeah, so it's just meant to give you clarity and take away any confusion that you might be having. So we have air, open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. We have flattery with Mercury in Gemini. I think that's Venus, actually, Venus in Gemini. We have Saturn in Virgo, I believe, with isolation. And then we have harmony with Sun in Libra. And so we have Libra coming out again, which is the Justice card. And harmony was a word that was coming through. And so I feel like a lot of the themes of this situation have to do with settling some kind of opposing situation. We have miracles here. I'm gonna switch these two. Yeah, I'll actually put it here. So we have miracles. It says you're being asked to pay extra close attention to all the big and small miracles that have already occurred in your life, and also to those that are currently occurring and still to come. Miracles surround you. Be on the lookout for them. We have expand. You're being asked to expand. You live in a huge world with endless possibilities. Staying safe in the known is no longer working for you. It's time to make your world just a little bit bigger. It's time to imagine the possibilities and go for them. Okay, and then we also have the thinking woman in reverse. We have a leg up in reverse, and then we have mountain in the middle. So yeah, a lot of this is really confirming what just came through in the energy check-in. So I'm gonna get do I even have water? One second, I'm gonna go get my water and I'll be right back. Okay, I got my water. So pile number 3, I feel like the truth that you're meant to see or like understand here, to realize, with the mountain card here, this definitely talks about a situation that has some obvious difficulties or barriers to making progress. I definitely can see that this situation is one that is challenging you to expand your way of dealing with others and expand your point of view or your way of maybe interacting with other people. And this could be true for your person. It could be for some of you that your person is, what you need to understand about your person is this truth that they need to realize, or it could be that you are needing to understand this. So just take what resonates. For the extended reading, we are going to be looking at your person or the other party in this connection. We're going to be looking at how they're currently feeling about you and the situation. And we're also going to be looking at what their lesson is, or what truth they're meant to realize in regards to this situation, this relationship. Yeah, so hopefully that will help clarify if you guys do want to hear that. But for now, I'm just going to stick to what truth this is revealing to me. And hopefully that's what you guys need to hear. If it doesn't sound like you, then maybe this is what you're meant to realize about your person. But I'm seeing here with the mountain card, this card talks about a situation where running straight at the problem, almost with the fire energy I was picking up on, is going to make the problem a lot more difficult. And so I feel like your point of view is meant to shift, whereas you might be right now very close to the mountain, very close to the problem. But with this air card here, this is all about getting distance. And oh, there's mountains here too. Wow. That's really interesting. So it's like, it's about getting distance from the situation and figuring out if there's another solution, another path that isn't currently obvious to you because of emotions running really high and there being like a lot of the clouds maybe blocking it. And so the air suit is all about cutting through emotion and passion and getting to the dry truth of the situation and seeing things from both point of view. And like, that's Libra as well. And so with harmony here, this is Sun in Libra. And so Libra is all about finding harmony between two people. And it's about it's not that you're meant to sacrifice your own point of view for the other, but it's about finding a balance point. And what Spirit's telling you is that there is a solution in the situation, but it requires a change in mindset. And especially if right now you or your person's feeling very pessimistic about how this could work out, I feel like you're meant to push through this situation because it's a huge opportunity for learning. And there's a message coming through that the truth about this is that, yes, this is challenging, but it's also a window of opportunity to really grow here. And so this Mercury in Gemini is also an air sign. So it's almost like you or your partner, maybe both, are being encouraged to use the air signs, which are more impartial, less emotional, less like fiery and angry, and more just like objective. So we have objectivity, open-mindedness, and learning to get through this situation. There could be someone in the situation, this could be you or your partner, with this Virgo in Saturn that maybe has really high expectations on themselves and others. And with this isolation card, it talks about how if we're very critical of others or very like, we see only one way things can be done, or we're very like rigid in how things have to be, that can cause isolation, and it could cause people to distance themselves from you or your partner either way. And with the thinking woman in reverse, it just feels like there's a scenario where what's really needed here is like the Ace of Swords, which is taking away subjective biases in the situation and looking at things from a higher perspective. And so this Gemini Mercury flattery card, it talks about how sometimes the best way of going about something, even if you feel like there's a truth that you're very attached to, sometimes softening your words and softening the situation with flattery, it's like sometimes when we feel like we have to tell the truth, it's like the truth can be harsh, but sometimes it's better and we can get our point across more if we're trying to tend to the other person's, if we're softening the blow or we're softening our approach. And so the truth of this situation is that it requires a softer approach than what's currently been happening. And with the leg up in reverse, this card talks about either you or your partner, maybe both of you, having a tendency to feel like you have to do everything on your own, or it may be that you or your partner have a really hard time accepting support from others. And it may just be that there's a feeling of not wanting to be vulnerable. But what I'm seeing here is that the solution, I feel like, is found in allowing for there to be harmony between the two of you, allowing you guys to collaborate. I feel like collaboration is needed for there to be forward movement. But I can tell that that collaboration is going to require a lot of maturity and moving through a difficult situation. And so it's really interesting here because we have square at the back of the deck, a challenging situation, a mountain to climb. So the truth is, it's no joke that this is a difficult scenario. And it is pushing each of you to shift. Each of you can't stay with the same viewpoint to make any progress. And so I'm going to read you guys this one because I feel like this is really the truth of the situation here. But essentially it's about how can I release some of my attachment to my point of view and open up space to see the other person's point of view. And then it's about seeing like the right and wrong in your point of view and seeing the right and wrong in the other person's. And that's like a very balanced, that's a balanced point of view. And so if you think the other person's completely wrong, that's not true. And if you think you're completely right, that's never the case. There's always so much more nuance, and having that perspective could be the mountain here. You know, it's like if each of you are feeling like you're completely right and the other is completely wrong, there's definitely a misconception here. So it says a square occurs when two planets sit 90 degrees away from each other. This is the most challenging dynamic to work through because it implies both an internal and an external struggle. So it's not that there's just energetic blocks, there's also obstacles experienced in the world. And so it says, it's vital to identify and support the squares in a chart because if abandoned, this aspect can become a dooming, self-fulfilling prophecy. Internally, squares create feelings of confusion and conflict or even paralysis in their energetic realms. And these blocks are magnified by outside events which seem to conspire to reinforce the challenge. Understandably, you might feel destined to fail in the face of a square, but you must persevere with courage. The journey through the sludge becomes your greatest teacher and leads to an even greater rewards. And while squares require lifelong nurturing and working with their energy, you discover your biggest opportunities for growth, achievement, and alchemy. And so it says you're being called to deepen your strength and perseverance through a challenge you face. That's the mountain as well. Remain present through painful moments. And so it's about not acting out of a triggered space. It's about allowing yourself to sit with the discomfort of maybe anger, feeling hurt to get to the truth of it. So it says sitting with those uncomfortable emotions and then asking, what are you here to show me? No shortcuts, no easy ways, no falling into old familiar habits. You're being summoned to rise up. This challenge wouldn't be here if you weren't strong enough to face it. This perspective doesn't deny the discomfort you endure. It only asks you to look beyond it and consider how it can teach you. How can it change? Practice seeing beyond the physical reality of all things. There's always some kind of nectar buried beneath the sludge, buried beneath the challenge and the confusion here. Use this realization to expand your trust in life, especially if you find yourself in trying times. So I feel like that really sums up what I'm getting here. And so I feel like if there's blocks that you feel, or like, let's say this person is like particularly triggering for you, it's a time to ask yourself, why is it that way? And how can you communicate it objectively to the other person without making them wrong? You know, and it's like, we all have our unique ways we like to do things. And a lot of times we're made the way we are because of the challenges we've already faced. And so it could be that each of you are reminding the other of a certain person in your life that you've really struggled to see their point of view. Like, I feel like this is kind of like a resurfacing. So maybe there was a sibling, a parent in your life that like you just felt like you couldn't get along with. And I feel like it's time to kind of mature and see, even though you might not resonate with their point of view, you could at least see it, and you can at least be open to learning what their point of view is and understanding why they are the way that they are. Why are they thinking that? And it's about having enough grace and compassion to understand that people don't just come from a certain place for no reason. It's usually there's like a valid reason why they're coming from that place. And I just think this is one where it's particularly hard to figure out the solution. But with Miracle being here, Spirit's essentially saying that there is a potential for this to move forward, for there to be a resolution that's found. But it does require an expansion of your mindset, an expansion of what you think is possible, of new solutions. And it's about coming out of a fixed mentality. Just want to get a sip of water. So let's get some tarot now to clarify this. And it's like through an expansion of perspective, it's almost like if you zoom out on this mountain, you might find that there's a trail where you can walk around the mountain instead of having to go up it. And it just feels like this is a scenario where it's triggering each of you and the other person in the scenario to see things very subjectively, you know, and we become most subjective in situations where we've been hurt by something, or, you know, we get triggered. It's hard for us to see things objectively when it's a topic where we feel like the other path or the other person's perspective is something that's personally hurt us. but it's also an opportunity to heal some of the past wounds by finding new reasons why people are the way they are. And like sometimes misunderstandings can just make pain so much worse. And so it might be that resolving the situation could even clear up some pain from the past. And Spirit's saying, if this is you that may feel like you just want to do everything on your own, Spirit's saying the path right here isn't staying in your comfort zone of maybe isolating yourself and feeling like this other person can't be a part of your life. It's saying that staying safe is no longer working for you. It's time to make your world bigger and imagine the possibilities. So thinking of new solutions. Can we clarify what truth pile number 3 is meant to realize about this situation, this relationship, this person, and what they're meant to see? Yeah, we have 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Collaboration. Yeah. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have the Apprentice of Gems, efficiency. We have the 4 of Swords, the Novice of Clouds. All right, we have the Tower. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse, and then we have the 9 of Cups. And then Oracle of Lightning, yeah. So this is the Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, so what Spirit is highlighting here is that if you guys feel like you just cannot collaborate with the other person, I feel like it's important to make sure that you're coming from a place where you found inner resolution, where you're not coming with resentment. Because the 4 of Swords is about rest. So if you feel like you need to take time apart from this person or take rest, that's totally fine. But I feel like you're being asked to sit in an objective state of almost like meditation or journaling to get to the solution here. And so it's like Spirit's saying that through rest and maybe taking a break, you may come up with and learning to be curious about the other person's point of view and learning what's going on here. You're going to come up with new solutions and you're going to actually learn from this. But I feel like, yeah, and with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I'm getting this sense of it could be that maybe one or both of you are afraid of allowing things to change, or there might even be like a need to control things. But Spirit's saying that this is like creating a negative cycle in your life, and it may even be like a reversal in fortune. And so it's almost like Spirit's saying, for the sake of efficiency, try to ground yourself to find a solution that's gonna work. Even if it isn't ideal, it's about understanding that there needs to be some sort of consistency established in the connection, or else things are not going to expand with the journey. And I feel like it's about being patient and receptive and listening to this other person, and making sure that you're aware of what you want with the 9 of Cups, but also you're taking into account what the other person wants. Get a sip of water. Yeah, and with the Oracle of Lightning here, I just feel like there's this sense that, yeah, with determination in reverse, it's like if people are too determined and fixed in their mindset, it's going to bulldoze the other people in the situation. And Spirit's saying the most growth, the most fortune, the best outcome involves a compromise. And it involves taking into account other people's perspectives and values and not undermining them or not thinking yours are superior. Yeah, the 3 of Pentacles is about valuing different contributions to a topic. And it may even be that for you or the other person here, it might be that someone has like a tried and true way of doing something, and they might think that everything's going to go wrong if they're open to new solutions. But Spirit wants you to know the truth is that isn't the case. Yeah, so I just want to clarify the Tower. Why is the Tower here? We have Death. Let go. Yeah, and I feel like there's this energy here that if each party stays stubborn here, something is going to fall apart. And there's a need to renew or adapt here. There's a need to let the ego loosen and come up with new solutions. Let an old way die, because if we don't do that through death, the Tower comes in and takes it away anyways. Why is the Apprentice of Gems here? Yeah, the Hierophant, unlearn, yes. So if there's someone here that just feels very sure that they have always known how to do things correctly, or maybe one person here is like more Aquarian, or maybe one person has new ideas for things and the other person wants to keep the status quo. With the Hierophant in reverse, it's like unlearn what you think you already know about what needs to happen here. And through doing that, through creating space in your mentality, and not being stubborn, you're actually going to make progress here. So the truth of the scenario is, if you want to get to what you want in this situation, I feel like bulldozing another person in the situation, and like that's not going to work. I think it's actually going to cause a Tower moment for you. So finding ways that you can collaborate and come up with new solutions, take into account different ideas, even if you're like an expert at something. Even if you feel so sure that certain things need to be solved a certain way, or a certain decision needs to be made, like try to listen to the other person and find a middle way, find a path so things don't fall apart. Why is the Nine of Cups here? Nine of Pentacles. Why is the Three of Wands in reverse? The World in reverse. Yeah, I'm Ascension. I'm really seeing here that in this case, like I feel like you're not going to reach the goal that you want unless this is addressed. And yeah, there just could be too much of a focus on trying to get to what you want on your own, because the Nine of Pentacles here is talks about independence and even wanting to go things alone. But I just feel like in this scenario, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to go through abandoning this situation. So I would say if you're I don't know if both parties are feeling stubborn here. We'll get to that in the extended. But if you found yourself or your partner in this energy, it's going to be the opposite energy in the extended. So let's get a couple messages that you might need to hear before we go into the extended. I just had a fear that I wasn't filming. And it could even be that like the mentality or like the disbelief that this could work out might be sabotaging things. Like it might be that there's someone that thinks that they can't do this with the other person, but Spirit's saying that that isn't the case. Like there is a solution through this. That's like the biggest truth. It isn't a lost cause. All right, what does pile number 3 need to hear? It says, I forgive myself for avoiding people and situations that make me uncomfortable. I choose to believe that each time I give myself permission to change my mind and commit to a new way of showing up in the world, I allow myself to be moved to where the possibility of deeper comfort exists. Yeah, and so it could be that it's just like the other person making you uncomfortable, but it's about realizing that there's something to be gained by sitting through the discomfort. Yes, it says, I forgive myself for allowing the beliefs of others to influence and determine my own. I choose to believe that what I feel in my heart to be true can be possible if I allow myself to believe it even when no one else seems to understand. And so it could even be that maybe you're avoiding this other person because you feel like their opinion undermines yours, but I feel like Spirit's saying that you can have your own truth and coexist with this person even if they don't agree with you. Like, I don't know if that's an issue here where it's just like, you maybe need to coexist in a situation where you just have very different opinions from someone else. What does pile number 3 need to hear? It says, I forgive myself for holding on to habits that no longer serve me. I choose to believe that when I set the intention to have compassion for my emotional experience, I will find I'm able to more effortlessly engage in behaviors that support me. And it says, I forgive myself for thinking I need to be ready before I may begin creating the life I truly desire. I choose to believe that the most suitable conditions for what I want will begin to arrive the moment I take inspired action towards my vision. Yeah, and then it also says this, I forgive myself for expecting it all to somehow fall apart whenever I'm faced with a challenge. I choose to believe that even challenging circumstances serve to support me as they bring with them the offering of a renewed perspective. So that is the crux of this entire reading. So I'm going to take you into the extended now. Yeah, this also says, like, I forgive myself for feeling as though the only path available to me is the one paved before by others. And so it's about, like, expanding the amount of possibilities by maybe doing things differently or being open to experimentation. But anyways, I'm going to go into the extended now, where we're going to be looking at how the other person is feeling and thinking about you in this situation. And we're going to be looking at what they're meant to realize, what truth they're meant to see that they may not be seeing right now. So if you guys want to see it from your person's perspective, I will have that link down below. Other than that, this is what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you found it useful, I would really appreciate if you're able to hit the like button or leave a comment. And if you want to see more readings from this channel, I would love for you guys to join the community through subscribing so you're able to see future pick a card readings. And other than that, I hope you're having a great week so far, and I hope to connect with you soon.